CPD disease. If only they knew. This is your final warning, Miss Jones, as Miss Fierstein says. Do you understand? It won't happen again, I say, trying to look obedient and contrite. I'm pushing aside the memory of my nightmare, pushing aside thoughts of Alex, pushing aside thoughts of Hannah playing in school. Push, push, push. Like Raven taught me, the old life is dead. Miss Fierstein gives me a final stare, meant to intimidate me, I guess, and turns back to the board, returning to her lecture on the divine energy of electrons. The old Lena would have been terrified of a teacher like Miss Fierstein. She's old and big and looks like a cross between a frog and a pit bull. She's one of those people who makes the cure seem redundant. It's impossible to imagine that she would ever be capable of loving, even without a procedure. But the old Lena is dead too. I buried her. I left her behind a fence, behind a wall of smoke. I did my book talk on Pandemonium by Lauren Oliver. It's fiction and is set in dystopian, which means it's futuristic. So it's set in a futuristic society throughout the northeast, where Lena is trying to find herself. In the first book, she meets Alex, and they fall in love in a society where love is forbidden. So they both decide to go into the wilds, where outside of the valid cities, where a mandatory cure for the disease of love is given, and Alex gets left behind. She thinks she's dead, and now she has to deal with leaving him, with giving away the first love she ever had. So Lena's the main character. The book is told from her perspective. Raven is really her best friend throughout the book, within her first part. So she's bringing her into a life of the wild, not the life she used to. Julian represents everything the government wants him to. He's basically the youth symbol of going against love. And Alex is who she left behind. So as she goes throughout the book, she shows others what Alex shows to him. She becomes the Alex to Julian and other people. So as she goes through this, she has to deal with finding another love, even though it's forbidden, even though they don't want it there. And one good thing Lauren Oliver did throughout the book was to make it interesting and you almost get favorites between the two. She divided her book into then chapters, alternating actually. Then chapters described how she came into the wilds, how it was mainly an emotional journey for her, and finding who she was without Alex and without push. Now chapters give an insight to what she's doing currently. They were my favorite, especially because of the fast-moving plot. And that's where she becomes the Alex, who showed her love, to a boy named Julian, a symbol of everything the government wants. So because she joined the resistance and she's outside of the wilds, her ideal thing to do is spread love and add to the resistance in numbers, because that's what they need. So she shows Julian love, and he accepts it sometimes, but other times not at all. My thoughts about the book. Since the main idea of the book is love and how it affects us, how it changes our lives, really when I look at any other books and movies, I find that if there's not a struggle for love, if it's not worth fighting for, if they just have it and it's there, it really doesn't mean anything. And Lena proves this throughout the novel as she shows Julian love. Others like it were matched by Ali Condi because of the ideas of so much government control, and selection by Korea Cast because there's so much similarities between the two as they both show love and enterprise. And Divergent by Veronica Roth because they both show love but in a fast-moving pace. Now, I recommend this book to our age group because it's better if it means something to you, because that's what you want out of it, like something worth having. And that's my talk.